Hello everyone, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us discuss one more important topic today. As you can see on my screen, today we are going to see what is polymorphism in Java and how we can achieve the same in Java. So first of all, talking about definition, polymorphism simply means taking many forms, or you can say taking more than one forms. So if I talk about a real life example, if I take the example of water. So water has many forms like solid, liquid, or gas. Okay, so this is one example where we have one thing water, but it has many forms. Okay, and if I take the example of suppose a person. Okay, so that person, when that person is present at home, he is the son of his mother. When he is present at home, but that same person, when he is present at office, then he is an employee. And if I talk about third one, suppose if that same person is studying in a college as well, so at college he is a student, right? So that same person is having more than one forms at different places, right? So this is one real life example where I'm saying that polymorphism is simply nothing but taking more than one forms. So in Java, if we want to achieve polymorphism in Java, if we have to achieve polymorphism in Java, then we can achieve with the help of method. With the help of methods, we can achieve polymorphism in Java. Okay, so let us see here directly. Let us do some practical. Okay, so forget about this as of now. Just look this. So suppose this is my addition class. On the left hand side, you can see this is my addition class, and let me remove this. Okay, so this is one example I have given here as well. So this is my main method, and here I am just creating the object of class. So in that addition class, I want to calculate the addition of two numbers, suppose. So to calculate the addition of two numbers, I will create one method so that that method can do the work for me. So I will say public void addition of add two numbers. Any method I will make, and inside that I will print the sum. So let me make one variable equals to number one, number two. So let me take those numbers from here. Okay, so once I will create the method, I will create the object of this class, and with the help of this object, I will call my method. So this is the straightforward thing we are again doing, right? So I hope you all are familiar with this. So just I have created the method, and at a runtime 4 and 6 number will fall here, 4 and 6. So 4 plus 6 is 10, and then sum will have the number 10, and after that it will print. So if I run this program, you will see our program will work fine. So you can say output you are getting 10. Okay, so just assume that I want to calculate the addition of three number. So if I want to calculate the addition of three number, again I will have to create this method. I will create a separate method that can take three number. So instead of number 2, I will say one more number like this. So I will change the method name number 3, addition of three numbers, and I will say number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3. And here I can call this method again in the same way, obj dot, you can say addition of three numbers, second one. So once I will call this, I will say 4, any number I can give 4 and then 5 and then 6. Okay, so again if I run this, you will see first of all the sum of this one will print, and then after 15 sum of these three numbers, because this method is getting called second time. So that is fine, but what happening if suppose I want to calculate the addition of four number. So if I want to calculate the addition of four number, again I will create one separate method like this, and I will say number 4, and here instead of writing like this I can say number 4, and I will change my method name. But here for each and every number, if I want to calculate the addition of two number, I am creating separate method with a different name. I can do one thing. If I can just give these methods same name, so instead of writing 2 here and 3 here, means I am giving different names to my method, I can create same method. I can create the method with the same name. So what will happen, see, if I create the same method, okay, so we have three methods now. Just see here, previously when we are creating addition of two number, then the readability of program will be lost. But now I have created the method with the same name, right, so that our program looks more readable. So what I am doing, I am creating one method, add method, right? So this add method has many forms. So here this add method has one form. Here in this form, this add method is adding two number. This add method has another form. Here this add method is performing the addition of three number, and here this add method has third form. So likewise as we have discussed that polymorphism is nothing but taking more than one form. So here this add method is taking more than one form, and this is the third form of this add method, and here this add method is adding four number. So advantage we got is that we do not have to create the method with a different name, and our program also looks more cleaner and readable, because I have created the method with the same name. So if I want to call this method, but here you can see the number of parameter I am passing here are different, right? So this is how you can give more than one form to your method. And if I want to run this program this time, if you will see, so how you can run again with the help of object obj.add. So if I pass two number 3 and 4, so it will automatically call the method which will have two parameter. So if I want to call addition of three numbers, so it is expecting three numbers, so I can simply pass all my number here 4 5 6, and if I want to calculate the addition of four number, and I can simply say 5 6 7 and 8. So if I run this program, so let me show you in debug mode that how every method is calling based on the number of parameter. So right click debug as Java application, or let me put debugger. Okay, so I have already put, so debug as Java application. Okay, so first of all object will be created. After that, which method will be called? Here you have two parameter, so exactly that method will be called which will have two parameters. So this method should get called. So let us see, 3 comma 4, so 3 will come and 4 will come here, right? So after that it will calculate the sum and print it in the output. So 7 will be the sum, and after that you have three parameter, so exact that method will be going to call which will have three parameter. Okay, so which method will be called is decided by the compiler here. Okay, so if I let me finish the execution. So after that, sum of all these four numbers will be stored in our sum variable. So this is our local variable. So this is the reason after this method will be over, this sum method will not present in our memory, right? Because it is a local variable. So after that you can see sum 26, and then it will print in the output. So here you can see all our three methods, first method, second method, and third method are in the same class, right? It is in the same class, addition class. So when you have, if I talk about the definition, when you have more than one method with the same name, but the different parameter in the same class, then it is called method overloading. So if I show you the definition here, so this we have discussed that it is the meaning of polymorphism. So polymorphism, if I talk, it is of two types. First of all, polymorphism in Java is of two types. First of all, compile time polymorphism, and that which method to call is decided by the compiler, right? So here, whatever the method compiler is deciding here, that which method to call based on the number of parameter, right? So compiler will decide that it has 3 parameters, so I have to call this. So compiler, okay, so compiler will decide, and here we say that such kind of polymorphism is compile time polymorphism. And why we are saying polymorphism? Because you can clearly see I am creating method with the same name, but that method has different forms. So here this is adding 4 number, here it is adding 3 number, and here it is adding 2 number. Okay, so this is the reason we are saying that it is a kind of polymorphism. And we, when all your methods are in the same class, so here I have written, you can see, when more than one method is defined in the same class with the same name, then it is called method overloading, right? So here there are some rules. If you want to achieve method overloading, how you can do? So this we have achieved, right? So different number of arguments. So if you provide different number of argument, but your method name will be the same, then you can achieve method overloading. How we have done? You can see method with the same name, but different parameter, right? So total 3, here 3, and here 4. So this is how you can achieve method overloading, or you can achieve it in the other way as well. So what is the other way? So here I am placing or, right, which means either you can use this way or the second way. So how you can achieve it? By changing the data type of the argument, right? So what does mean? So if I will not write like this, suppose I will write integer number, and let me remove this all. So let me remove this as well. Okay, so here what I try to do, suppose I am creating only two methods this time. So suppose let me change its name to print method we are having. So what I can do, I can again create the method with the same name. Actually I am trying to achieve method overloading, so this time I will follow the second approach, or you can second rule. I can, if I can change the data type of the argument, then I can also achieve method overloading. How? If I show you, if I write this time string number, right? If I write like this, or let me take some other variable name value. So here you can again see I have changed the data type. So you can also take num here, that doesn't matter. So data type, if data type will be different, then you can see we are able to achieve method overloading here as well. So based on the data type, compiler will decide which method to call. So here if I show you, suppose let me remove this all. So if I call this method obj.add, sorry, print. So if I provide integer value here, or let me first provide string value, and suppose if I provide some integer value, right? So 50 is integer value. So based on the, so let me print some variable value here, like I will print a string value like this. And what our other method will print, I will print you can say integer value. Okay, so based on the data type. So if I debug this program, so you can see first of all object is created. Okay, after that here the data type is of type string, right? So automatically this method will be called because it is expecting integer variable, or you can say integer. So I should have written value here. So anyways, so as the data type is string, okay, so I should have not placed debugger, so it has directly executed this method, but you are getting this output. So this is the method it has executed, right? So let me put debugger here. Let me run again. So object created, and after that you can see the control of your program will come here, and it will print this because I am passing a string value. So data type is string, so it will call this. So after that number, I am integer value. So again I have not put the debugger, but you can see it has printed that in the output second method, because in the second method it is expecting one integer value, right? So this is how you can also achieve method overloading. I have created the print method with the same name here as well, but I am changing the data type of our argument. So that print method is performing both the functionality. That print function is also printing our integer value and our string value as well, right? So I could have also created like a print integer value like this, and then print a string value. But if I am giving like this, then readability of our program is not more, right? So but if I give like this, program seems to be more readable. So this is the reason we are trying to create the methods with the same name, okay, but we are just changing the data type or the number of arguments. So this is another way of achieving. And what is this? Changing the sequence of arguments. So if you do not want to use these two approaches, then here you can also achieve method overloading with the help of this third line, changing the sequence of arguments. So what does that mean? So if I write after that comma string like this, and here if I try to create the same print method. So okay, one more thing. If you think that I can change the name of this to some text, or you can say number one, so it is not possible, right? So let me terminate debugging. What I'm saying, if you are thinking that I will change the value of this to text, then I will achieve method overloading. So it is not possible. You have to only take care of this data type, right? So make sure that if you, okay, so let me give the same name as of now. So only thing that matters here is data type, not the variable name. So if I want to achieve method overloading by changing the sequence of argument, so sequence in the sense I will change the sequence of this. So first of all I will say string. First of all I will say string here, and after that I will say integer, right? Sorry. So string. Okay, so I think it is not taking. Okay, so let me remove this. Okay, so let me take it as a text here, and text here, right? So what I have done, I have just changed the sequence of the argument. So first of all integer and then string, but here string and then integer. So if I run this program, obj dot print, so this time if I provide first number and then some integer value, sorry, some string value, like, and after that if I provide first first print value, which means, sorry, string value, and after that if I provide some number, so based on the data type, this time you will see the method will call. So if I show you again, first of all object will be created, and after that first of all we are providing integer, and after that we are providing text, sorry, string value, right? So which method should get called? You can see here this method should get called, because first of all I am providing integer variable and then a string value. So let us see, this method should get called. So you can see, so you can write any statement here, I have not changed. Anyways, you have to see that which method should get called. Okay, so this will get called, and after that this time which method should get called? this method. Why this method should get called? Because first of all I am providing a string value, so I am providing a string value, and after that I am providing integer value, right? So if I run this, you can see it. So it after that it will print, right? So this is how I have achieved method overloading. This is also one of the way, or you can say one of the rule by which you can achieve method overloading. So when you are having methods with the same name in the same class, but you are making some changes here and here, then such type of you can say that process is called method overloading. So this is I have written here, that process is called method overloading, right? So we also call it as a compile time polymorphism. So it is one of the type of polymorphism, right? So it is handled by the compiler, right? Here I have written. So this we have done compile time polymorphism. So is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if any one of you feels that I am going little bit fast, so just tell me. I will decrease my speed. Okay. If you any one of you feels so, this we have done. So let us see the second one, right? So for that I have separate class. If I come here, suppose I am having two class, right? So this is my parent class. So here in my parent class, so let me create it as public only. So here I am having two class. So first of all, this is my parent class. Here in my parent class, I am having two methods. First method is this one. It is just saying that my sports car have number of tires will be 4. And here I have created one more dummy method. So here that this as this is my parent class, so I have created one parent method. So it will just say that I am the parent method, okay? And here I have created one more method, set color. Okay, so save it. Okay, so here it is one more method I have created in this class. So it is just saying that the color of my sports car will be red color. So this is the reason I have created this, okay? And here I am having one more class which is my child class, right? So this class is child class, and here we are using the concept of inheritance so that we can reuse our code. So I have provided this extends keyword. So all the properties and the methods present in my parent class sports car will come inside, will be, we can use that properties of this parent class with the help of child class object. So how we can say, so if I say create the object of my child class, Maruti 800 is my child class, I will say Maruti equals to new, and if I create the object, so I have created the object. So if I want to call this method, you can say this one, first one, number of tires. So I can easily do that. Why I can do that? Because I'm using extends keyword, so I can use all the methods present in this, right? So I can simply say Maruti dot number of tires. So you can see, and if I run this program, you will see that number of tires will be 4. So why I want to print this? Because this is my child class, so every car will going to have 4 tire only, right? So I have created one method in my sports car, and I'm using the methods of the sports car because I know in my Maruti 800 or some other car only 4 tires will be there, right? So I could have created separate method for my Maruti 800 as well, but if we can reuse our code, then why to create other method here as well, right? So this is the reason we are using inheritance here. So before that, let us see one more thing. So if I create object like this, suppose if I create, so what is my parent class? Just I want to clear one difference. Sports car sports equals to new car. Suppose I am creating the object, okay, not like this. Okay, so let us see this as well. So if you create the object like this, And suppose I'm having one method here, public void child, and I will simply say child method. Okay. So when I am creating the object like this, I will be able to call each and every method present in the parent class, as well as this method I will be able to call. So if I show you, you can see this method we are also able to call, right? But if I create the object like this, I have created the object of parent class. So what is the difference? This time you will not be able to call any method present in our Maruti 800 car. So if I say child, you can say it is not showing this method, right? Because I have created the object of parent class. So this is the reason you can call any method present in the parent if you want to see number of tires, right? So this is the method that is showing, and we have set color. Yeah, here it is present in the sports car, and likewise you can see one more we are having, I think, parent, right? So you can call any method present in the parent. But if I create the object like this, suppose if I create the object like say object, this time let me give this name, and this time instead of writing this here, so if I want to call again this method, I will, what this line will impose you some restriction, which means if you create the object like this, so here I have created the object of this class with the help of new keyword, and but the reference variable which I have created here is of type sports car. So what will happen if I declare the object like this? I will be able to call each and every method present in the you can say parent class, but not in the child class. So object dot, so you can say if I want to call this child method, right? So you might think that I have created the object of this class, so I can call this. But here, as you are creating the reference variable type as parent class, so you will see dot ch, right? So it is not even showing me the automatic suggestion. So if I say child, so you can see it is not showing, which means why this has happened, because when you are creating the object like this, we say it is nothing but typecasting. So what happened here? We say this process as typecasting, or here the typecasting is implicit in the sense automatic by the technology. So let me write it here, by technology. So what happened when you are declaring this, creating the child object class? So this is our child class. I am creating the object of my child class, but on the left hand side I am providing this parent reference to my reference variable. So now this child object is converted to your parent object, right? So this is nothing but typecasting, conversion of child object, to your parent object is nothing but called typecasting, and here the typecasting is automatically done by the technology. So now this object will perform in the similar way. So I hope we have already discussed this. Here as well, you will not be able to call methods present in the child class, and here after that child object is converted to your parent object, here this object is going to perform you the same operation, because this is sports object, and now this object is behaving like a parent object, right? So this point is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there are here is two classes, class just like parents and child. If like there are three and four classes like class A and class B extend A and class C extend B, class D extend C, then how this is possible?
What you want
If
to say? Okay, let me make four classes then.
yeah,
Class A.
class A and class B extend A and
Wait,
class
wait.
C.
Let me do first class A, and new class B, right? Class B will extend A class, extends A. Okay, and then what is your third class?
Class C.
So class C. So what that class C will do?
Class C extend B.
Extends B.
In this case, how typecasting is work?
Okay, so here if I show you, so what kind of inheritance we have done? If you say we have one class A, and then
Yeah,
class
it's a
B is extending this.
multi-level inheritance.
Yeah. So let me right. So just here I'm just doing it. So all the properties of class A will be coming to our class B, and if I talk about class C, all the properties of class B is coming to class C, right? So yeah, here. So it is nothing but multi-level inheritance. So if I write some code here so that I can explain. So alright, so C. Okay, so this is nothing but multi-level inheritance. So if I create some methods here, so first method I will create is public void A. So this is our first method present in A class. So I will simply say,
I want to ask one more thing. Why we create public method? Why we not create default method?
yeah, in this lecture only I will tell you at the end the difference between access modifier, right? So just wait, okay?
Okay.
So let me write A method. A method is created, and then here in my class B, void B, B method, and then you can give, and in my C class, so here I will create one main method, and here I will give C, right? So let me write C method. So if I create the object of just simply class C, so C object equals to new C, right? So if I call like this, you will be able to call method present in A class. You can see method present in A class, B class, C class. Are you
Yeah.
able to see?
Yeah.
So that is straightforward. So,
Yeah.
but if I create the object of suppose, so this is my parent class is nothing but our parent class is A. So if I create like this, right, and if I try to call, you can say now this child object, child class. So this is our child class, class C, and this
Yeah.
class is our parent class, grandparent class, you can say. But here,
Yeah.
this with the help of this, again implicit typecasting is done. Now this class C object is converted to your class parent A object, and this is the reason you are not seeing any methods from other classes. Only class A is present, right? So here, this is how you are seeing the typecasting here, right? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
here we can write. Here we can write C object new A.
so that is nothing but implicit typecasting. Okay, sorry. So implicit typecasting is directly done by the technology, right? So here what you are trying to do, you are trying to say that I want to change my parent object, parent class object to my child class object, right? So it is not directly possible. But if you wanted to, then you can do like this. C object equals to something like this, and I will say C, and let me rename this as parent, or let me give it as can do like this.
Okay.
So this is nothing but, okay, so you have to, so let first I make the object of parent class. So this is our parent class object, right? You can clearly see parent class and parent object I am creating. So I am saying convert my parent object to the child class object. So this is child object. So once you will declare like this, it is nothing but explicit typecasting, which means it is not automatically done. You have to write some code so that after that it will convert, right? So this is nothing but explicit typecasting. So if I say that again, you can see all the three methods you are able to call, right? Because it is your child object now.
Okay, in the same way we can do with B also, I think.
Let me show you what you want to do.
Yeah.
B after that B object equals to new.
B, yeah, B with A or C. Yeah, C.
So B is our parent for this class C. B is the parent. So if you create like this, now this child object is converted to class B object. So only you will see the methods coming from the B class, and obviously A will come because B is in extending the class A. So you are also going to see A and B.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So till now we have not discussed what is that other kind of polymorphism. So I am slowly coming to that, but first I want to make some difference. Okay. So this is the reason I wanted to show this typecasting and all. So this difference we have done. And suppose if I remove this, okay, so you can watch it in the recording. If I, yeah, here is my sports car. So if I want to print the color of my Maruti 800, so I can call this method again, set color. So I can simply say Maruti dot set color, right? So if I right click and run this Java application, and let me also invoke one method Maruti dot, you can say number of tires. So I also wanted to print how many tires my Maruti 800 car will have. So if I invoke this, you will see number of tires will be 4, which is fine. But here again red color. So that red color method is coming from parent class sports car. So but there is one issue. I do not want a red color in my Maruti car. So please put yourself on mute because some disturbance is coming. Okay. So if you have any question, then you can unmute yourself. So what I'm saying, sports car have the red color. I want blue color in my Maruti 800 car. So what I can do, I can again create one method, public void Maruti color, something like this. Just and here I can simply say, I will say blue color. So what happens if I do like that? Instead of calling this method set color, I can call my which method? Maruti color. So that is fine. It will work and it will print the blue color. But the reason is I should have used this method as well. What I can do, instead of creating the method with a different name, what I can do, I can replace this method here in my class. So how we can do? If I copy this same method here, copy the same method present in a child class, so sorry, parent class, and instead of creating the new method, copy that method as well. And here you can say blue color. So once I am copying and pasting this method, you are seeing one green sign here, right? So what this sign is saying, this green sign is saying that this method that is present in your child class Maruti 800, you can say this method overrides means replacing. So this method is replacing the method present in your parent class. So in the parent class we have set color method, right? So this method, whatever you have written here, this method will replace that parent class method. So replace in the sense it will print this output, right? So if I show you again, if I try to call dot, so set color again, if I call, so earlier when I was doing that, it is printing the red color, but as I've defined the similar method here, right? So exactly the method is similar, just I've changed here. So what will happen this time, blue color will be printed in the output. So number of types will be 4 and this is nothing but our blue color. So this is nothing but we call it as a method overriding. So if I talk about the definition, so override means replacing. Okay, so what is this method overriding? It means the ability of a child, or you can say the subclass, or you can say the child class, to re-implement an instance method. Instance method in the sense which are not a static method. So it means the ability of a child, or you can say the subclass, to re-implement an instance method coming from the parent class. So here I have just what I have done, the method that is coming from our parent class. Here I have just re-implemented the same method, right? So this is nothing but called method overriding. So here again you can see the method is having the same name, set color, here as well and in the parent as well, but that method is printing different output, right? So here again we are achieving the polymorphism, but this time you can say it is nothing but method overriding, right? So where is my slide? Yeah, here. So this is nothing but method overriding, but here if you want to do method overriding you have to follow these three rules. So here I have written and in the sense you have to compulsorily follow all the three steps. You should have the same number of argument, or you can say the parameter, and the second is sequence of the argument should also be the same, and you should have the same data type, and lastly your method name should also going to be the same, right? Then only you can achieve method overriding. So number of arguments should be the same, sequence of arguments should be the same, and you should have the same data type, right? So you should have the same data type here. So you can say here I have not provided any data type, but if you try to print string value, you will see that green sign. So this is not a method overriding because here you have a string value, but in your parent class you are not providing any parameter. So if you think that I can provide integer value, then again it is not a method overriding, because you can see no green sign is present here. But if you change this to integer value again, now it is a method overloading. You can see again this green sign will come. So at runtime this method will be replaced. So this method overriding is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
So if I just what we have discussed, if I create the object of parent class, sorry, not object, reference variable of parent class and object of child class. What is our child class? Maruti 800. So let me not remove this, but let me comment this. So if I do like this, okay, so what happened again? This child object, with the help of new keyword we create object, this child object is now converted to our parent object, because I'm automatic implicit typecasting will happen. So what I have told you that if you now want to call, you only be able to call the methods present in the parent class. So this is our parent class object, this is the parent one, but you are not seeing this method, right? Child class, child one. Are you seeing this method here? If I try to say dot child, it will throw the error, right? Because this object is now converted to parent object. So for the methods which are not similar, this is how the effect will come. But if I talk about this method which is having the same name, so if I say just dot set color, right? So here after that it is written parent class, right? Sports car. So you might think if I try to run this, so let me remove this variable. So from here, so as our object is now converted to parent class, so let us see whether we are getting this output or not, red color, right? So if I run this program, you can see the output you got is different, and that output is nothing but the blue color. So what I mean to say that for the methods which are not having the same name, where you can say method overriding is not happening, the whatever the ways we have discussed, that I can be able to call the methods of the parent class, that is fine. But if you have the methods with the same name and method overriding is happening here, then in that case if you write like this, JVM will decide which method to call based on the object reference variable है. What I mean to say, if you write like this, and if the methods name are also similar and method overriding is happening in our two classes, then which method to call, which similar method to call will be decided based on the object you are creating. So here this is our child class object, right? So at runtime this reference variable will contain the object of child class, so that method will be called based on the object you will create, right? So this is the reason you are seeing, as you are creating the object of child class, so at runtime this parent variable will have the reference of this object. So this is the reason you are seeing this blue color. So this difference is clear to everyone for how, and this approach is nothing but called runtime polymorphism. Runtime polymorphism, right? So in the runtime polymorphism you will have the method with a different name, sorry, method with the same name in the both the classes. And if you try to create the object like this, and if you try to call the method, then which method to call will be decided by the Java virtual machine based on the runtime, right? So based on the runtime handled by JVM. So this is nothing but called runtime polymorphism. So here if you can see, we are achieving runtime polymorphism with the help of method overriding. We are achieving runtime polymorphism with the help of method overriding. And if I talk about the method overloading, so we are achieving the compile time polymorphism with the help of method overloading, right? So this is the difference, and this is how you can achieve runtime polymorphism. So is it clear to everyone?
Yeah, yes.
So here I have written the definitions as well if you want to see. Okay, so I have not written. So method overloading, we can achieve compile time polymorphism with the help of method overloading. And if you want to achieve the runtime polymorphism, so here I have not written. Anyways, if you want to achieve, let me write. If you want to achieve runtime polymorphism, then you can achieve with the help of method overriding, which we have just saw. So this overriding and overloading is clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so, and make sure that you can use any one of the conditions, and but here you have to use, you have to follow all the three conditions, right? Then only it will be a case of method overriding. So if I create one class, okay, so I think I have here, okay, so I think this keyword is already you can say completed in this lecture, I think, right? That what is this keyword. So let us discuss this again. Okay, so just give me 5 minutes so that we can, suppose if I create one student class, and here I have public void data, or I can say set the data. So if I say roll number, just I will give roll number and enter phone number. So these are the two instance variable I will declare in my class, and here I will say roll number and int phone number. Okay, so when I will call this method r and equals to p, Okay, so if I call this method, let me create one more method, public void display, and I will say print the phone number, print the roll number. And I will print phone number. Okay, so if I call this method, first of all I will call the method set data, roll number is 320, and what is our phone number? Let us give some dummy phone number. Okay, so I think the it is not integer is exceeding its limit, so let me give some small number. Okay, so after that dot display. So if I try to run this program, it will work fine, and it will print the roll number of the student and the phone number. So you can see in the output that is fine. But if I do not want to give this, I want to, if I do like this, suppose, even if I copy like this, and here as well, and if I run it again, you are going to see some default value, right? So that default value is coming from this. So why it is happening? Because this time I am providing the same variable here and here. So Java is confusing that whether this roll number is belonging to this one or that roll number is belonging to this one. So confusion is occurred. So if you want to resolve that confusion, right? So you can simply write like this dot and this dot, right? So now what will happen once you place this keyword? Now compiler, now your technology will be able to decide that this roll on the left hand side is nothing but the class variable, and the whatever you are seeing on the right is nothing but our local variable, right? So you can place this keyword if you want to resolve the ambiguity between your local variable and the class variable, right? So that is our, these two are our class variable and this is our local variable, right? So if I run this program, this time you will see the correct output, right? So okay, so what is the, I should have written phone number here, phone number. Now it will print the correct output. So sometimes you, so you are getting the correct output. So sometimes what happens that you do not want to give the separate name, right? So you decided that I will give only this name, so in my local variable as well. So but if you do not provide this, confusion will occur, right? So you can do with the help of this keyword. So this is one thing about this keyword. And let us see one more thing about this keyword. If I can also call my class method with the help of this keyword. How? So let me remove this, or let me not remove this. And if I say, suppose I will create one method m1, and I will say public void m1 system.out.println m1 method. Okay, so if I say, and if I try to run, so this time I will only call one method object.display. So once your call will come here, this method should invoke. So if, let us see first whether it is invoking. So m1 method. So here I am saying that with the help of this method, sorry, with the help of this keyword, you can invoke your current class method, right? But here you can see that no, this is present. So what happens if you do not write anything? Technology by default will going to provide this keyword before this method automatically. So this is the reason you are seeing that this method is called, right? So this is the, you can say, technology will going to place automatic this for you if you do not provide any, right? So this is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. First time if we call M1 method, Then there is a print m1 method. Okay. Then again there is a public display void display method. And if
Yeah,
we call, yes, we call here second time method. So why not m1 method print two times?
I'm not getting you. You are saying that, so you can see that in debugging. So if you, why it is not printing second time, you can see first of all we will come here, right? We came here. Okay, after that what will happen, as this dot m1, which means this method should be called, so automatic you will come here, right? So you will come here and it will print, but after that this method will also going to over, right? So you can see after that this one will also over, and after that we will come out of our program. This is the reason you are seeing only one time.
Okay.
Any confusion?
No.
Okay, fine. So let us see one more thing. What is constructor chaining, right? So with the help of this keyword only, we can achieve constructor chaining. So what is this constructor chaining? So from the definition point of view, I will come in a short while. Just let us see. So suppose I have two constructor. So as you know that constructor will have the same name as the class. So I will create one constructor. Let me, okay, so let me, okay, do like this only. This is one constructor, and so what I wanted to do, I wanted to calculate the factorial of 5, and once I will calculate the factorial of 5, so let me give this as other class name, rename. So I can give factorial. So now my class name is factorial class, and I will say one variable. Okay, so in my factorial class, suppose I am creating constructor, like suppose this is the no argument constructor, so I will say I will make it as a parameterized constructor, right? Suppose a comma int b, right? So these are our two constructor, and this is a no argument constructor, and this is a parameterized constructor, right? So here once I will calculate the factorial of 5, suppose the factorial of 5 is 120, you know. So after once I will get the factorial, I want to add two numbers 5 plus 6 to this 120, and then I wanted to print my output. So how we can do that? Suppose I am writing the code here. So first of all, for int I equals to 1, I less than equals to 5, and I will increment the value of I. So you know how to calculate the factorial, okay? So fact equals to factorial into I, and once I will calculate the factorial, I will print the factorial. Okay, so this is how it will work. And before that, let me take two variable here, int a and int b, right? So if I want to, so these two values, whatever the numbers 5 and 6, I will send it from my main method, right? So once I will send it, I will say a equals to a, b equals to b. So again confusion will occur, so I can simply say this dot. Here I will say this dot, right? So confusion will not be there, we have already discussed. So once you will calculate the factorial in my this constructor, right, what I will do, whatever the factorial I will whatever the factorial I will get, I can say a plus b plus fact. So this variable will have your final result of factorial. So after that I will say sum. So if I do like this, and if I call this, so first of all, as I am creating the constructor, so I will pass a and b, so 5 and 6, right? So as this is a parameters constructor, you can see I have given two parameters, so automatically once, as soon as the object will create, automatically this method will invoke. So whatever the value of A you will provide here, that value will come here, and B value will come here, and once you will calculate the factorial, and that factorial will come here. So that factorial will also be placed in this variable, right? So let me not give it as 1. So let me give 1 here. So let me give integer factorial equals to 1. Okay. So if I try to show you what I am trying to achieve, I have written one code here, one code here, and one code here. If I want to achieve the same task, you can say that I can write this code here as well. That is fine. I can write that entire code here after this line and it will work fine as well. But what I'm saying that if you have lots of code to write, you should not write each and every code inside only one class. So you can also see that for the separate topics, I am creating the separate class. I am not writing each and every code inside my single constructor. So what I can do, I can write my code. I can write my different code in the different constructor like this. And once I have written my code, I will change the constructor. What I am saying, I will create a chain of constructor with the help of this. So how we can do? So if I say, before that let me not invoke this one. Okay, so I will simply say this, and suppose I will say 5,6 like this. So what will happen? You can see that I am also passing some numbers here. So if I show you in debug mode how it will happen, then it will be more clear. And so you do not have to create the object because this is a no argument constructor. Automatically it will invoke. So once, let me provide here it as well. Okay, so if I debug it, okay, so automatic this constructor will be called, but here I have written this 5,6. So what I'm saying, this keyword can also be used to call your current class constructor. So here focus on the two words current class. I am talking about in the current class. So if you have one constructor here in your same class, and if you want to call one constructor from the other constructor, so this is your other constructor, but from this constructor I am calling other constructor, and that constructor have the two parameters, so 5 and 6. So once it will see this statement, automatic your parameterized constructor will get called, and 5 and 6 will come here, 5 and 6, and after that this dot a equals to a. So a and b value 5 and 6, right? And after that it will calculate the factorial of 5, so 120, right? So once this constructor procedure is over, right, from here to here, so this is the last line. After that it will over. So again we have to come to this line because our execution come here due to this, but after that you will see we will start from this. So you can see after that it will over, and after that, after this line we came, so here, so a will have 5, 6, and it will have 120. So it is saying 1. Okay, so here we are getting error because we have not. Okay, so you can say after this, so let me take it as factorial other number, and once you will calculate the factorial, I will pass the equals to fact like this. Okay, now this time whatever the value you will get, that will be placed here, and that value I will use here. So if I debug it again, first of all this one will be called 5,6. Okay, so again the same execution will happen, but this time 120 value will come. You can say 120 will store here, right? Now after that again we will start from this, and you can see 125, 6, so which is nothing but I think 131. Okay, so you can see we got our desired output, right? So what I mean to say, I could have written, instead of creating like that constructor, I can simply copy these two lines, and after that I will print the sum. So it will work fine as well, and I will not create this constructor. But what I mean to say, when you are designing one big project, so you should not place each and every code inside your single constructor. You can do what you can do, you can create many constructors, so all those constructors will have different code, right? So this will have some different code, and this one will also have some different code, and with the help of this keyword, you can form a chain of constructor, which so that, right, so that whatever the code you want to call, you can call. So this is nothing but constructor chaining. So instead of writing all the code in one constructor, we will create a chain of constructor, so that will perform our task. So but this keyword is only applicable when you have constructors inside the same class. You can see these two constructors are inside the same class, right? So with the help of this keyword, you can form a chain of constructor if both the constructor or more than one constructors are present inside your same class. So that, okay, so is it clear to everyone, constructor chaining with the help of this keyword?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay, so, but suppose if you have here, if I write, so if I create two class, so first class I will create parent, and I will create one more class child, right? So here if I say extends parent, I mean to say that if you have separate classes, then how you can achieve constructor chaining? That is the point we have to see. Child and this is parent. So if I create one constructor here, so I can create, okay, so before the constructor, let us see some important points, right? So if I say here, if you have the separate class, if you have separate class for the same class, let me write for same class, we can use this, we have already seen. But if you have the different class, then you can use super keyword, right? So if you have the following inheritance concept, then super keyword will help you to do that. So what is, okay, so super keyword, so how we can do that? So let us see first point about the super keyword. Super is used to refer parent class variable. What does that mean? So if I create first one variable, if I, okay, so this is our parent class. So inside our parent class, suppose I have the color of the parent class as white. Suppose I am having one color in my parent class, and this is my child class. Okay, so inside my child class, I will create one method, public void print, so that print will nothing but just print the color. But suppose inside my parent class, sorry, child class, so this is our child class, I have one more color with the same variable name, it is blue, right? So if I have one main method here, so if I have one main method, and if I try to say color, right, and if I say, if I create the object of this child class, child c new child, right, and if I try to call this color, sorry, call this print method, so you will see what is the output we are going to get. You can see the, it has given the preference, So you can see string color, this variable name and this variable name is same, right? So here do not think that it is method overriding, it is not a method, right? So for the variables, overriding concept is not applicable. But here when you are doing like this, it is giving the preference of this color to the child class. So this is the reason you are not seeing white color, right? But suppose if you want, so here let me write, this will print child class, right? Or let me write color. But if you want, I want to print the, you can say I want to print the color of the parent class from here, this method only. Now super keyword will going to help you. So you can just, if you just say super, now this statement, it is referring to the color of your parent. So this is nothing but this variable, right? So if I try to run this, so this is the reason I've written the first line, that super is used to refer immediate parent class variable. So you can see, first of all it is printed blue because you have written like this, but when you are saying super dot color, it is printing the color of parent class. So that for, so okay, so this is how you can use super keyword if you want to refer to your parent class variable. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
Suppose,
hello.
hello.
So what is the difference between this and super? Can you explain once more?
Okay. So the very big difference is you can only use this keyword if you have the same class. So here if I show you, so here if I want to refer to this variable, right, this dot, so for the same class I can do. But if you have the multiple classes, like if I'm using inheritance, you cannot use this keyword because this is only for one class. But if you have like multiple inheritance, or you can say here I'm having single inheritance like parent and child, so here this will, if I use this keyword, right, here I can also use this keyword, but that this keyword will not going to help me to point to this, because here this is a separate class and this is a separate class from
Okay,
this.
so this for this this will call inside the class
Yeah,
and
yeah,
will call the different class.
yeah, that is the main difference.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, so where I was, if I create child, okay, so I was creating one method. Suppose in my parent class I have one method eat, just say, so public void eat, this is my parent class method, parent eat method, right? And suppose if I have one more method, same method I will copy and I will place it here in my child class. So as the methods are having the same name, so let me remove this. Okay, as the methods are having the same name, you can see method overriding concept will be applicable. Okay, so this we have already done. So let me write child eat method. So if I say c dot print, so okay, so let me create one more method. So let me say display. So it is not returning anything, so I will say void display. And if I place that eat method here, so what I will do, I am placing eat method here. So based on this eat method, and what I will say c dot display. So once this method will call, we will come here and this method should get executed. But as it is a concept of method overriding, as we are having the same method with the same, with the zero parameter in the parent as well, same method name, again method overriding concept will be applicable. So whatever the method that will come, from this parent class will be replaced by this method. Okay, so and moreover Java virtual machine will going to decide which method to call based on the number, based on the object of our class, right? So if I try to run, you will see that this method, so let me, okay, not put debugger, we will put after that. So you can say it is calling child eat method, right, which is fine, it is working correctly. But again I am saying that I want to call my parent method here. After inheritance, I want to call my parent method. So what I can do, if I say super dot, just like this, now what will happen, this, even the method overriding concept is happening here. This super, by placing super keyword before this eat method is now belonging to the parent class. So this is just, it is saying. So you can also call your parent constructor, you can say. So I think this is, yeah, it is a method, not a constructor, right? So you can also call your parent class method with the help of super keyword. So this, if I run it again, you can say parent eat method, right? So just if you want to call the parent method from here, you can use that super keyword. So this point is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So let us see about constructor. Now again the same thing, how we can achieve constructor chaining. So I will create one constructor, parent class constructor. Here I will say parent constructor like this, and if I say, let me remove this all, and I will simply say child, and I will say child constructor. Okay, so remove this because I do not need to create the object, for the constructor automatic will invoke. So if you see, this is a no argument constructor. So what is the output we should get? If it is creating the object and calling this default constructor, output should only be child constructor, right? So let us see whether we are getting our correct output or not. Okay, so save it. So if I run this, you can see that clearly, even before calling this constructor, our parent constructor is called. Why? So because in any constructor in Java, if you do not write anything before this line, if you do not write anything, then technology by default will place one keyword like this. So what will happen? This super is referring to your default construct, no argument constructor of your parent class, right? So if you provide this or not, automatically technology will place that for you, right? So this is the reason you are seeing that parent constructor, right? So even if I remove this, suppose if I remove this, so you can see again this parent constructor is called by the technology. Why? Because if you do not provide any constructor, right? If you do not provide any constructor, then technology will automatically create one default constructor for you. So once it will create default constructor like this at a runtime, so it will also place one super keyword like this. So this is the reason, even if you run this program, it will going to give you the same output like this. Okay, so if you do not write like this, control shift, if you do not provide any constructor, then technology will create one default constructor at a runtime and it will place super keyword, right? So you can say parent constructor. So this point is clear to everyone?
Sir.
Yes.
So again, if you want to point to your parent constructor, suppose in the parent constructor I have the constructor with the some parameter, just assume some parameter is present here, right? And in my child constructor, now you can see that it has started to throw the error because it is now not referring to your default constructor, sorry, no argument constructor. You can see there is not any constructor present here which are having no argument, right? Here you are having two arguments. So here if you want to call your parent class constructor, you have to write some value, right? Then also it will be able to refer to your parent constructor, right? So here again, just like we did that in our, you can say this one, you can write some program here, some lines of code here, and with the help of super keyword you can create a chain between your child constructor and your parent constructor, right? So you can achieve that constructor chaining here as well in the different class with the help of super keyword, right? So is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So you have to write the same code just we have did for that factorial one in this, right? So that will be one assignment for you, right? You can try, just write that factorial code wherever you want and add that number and try to create a chain between these two constructor, right? So I have told you that if you want to work in the same class, if you want to call the method of the same class, you can use this. But if you have the different class, you can call the method with the help of super keyword. And if you want to create a chain between the constructors, you can call that with the help of super keyword, right? So this we have discussed. So just give me 10 more minutes. Actually, I wanted to discuss one important topic, which is nothing. So this till now it is clear to everyone. Then we will proceed forward.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I was talking about access modifier in Java. Access. So let me not write it here. Let me write it here. Access modifier. So there are four kinds of access modifier, which is public, private, protected, default. So why we use this access modifier? If I show you, let us first go with this default. First one, let us see what is this default. So suppose if I have two package. So let me minimize this all. So this is one class. Okay, so suppose if I do not write anything. Okay, so let us now copy this. Suppose this is my class. Okay, so this is our package p1. So you can assume package something like as a container, right? So in this in my one package, this is one separate package p1, this is one separate package p2, and this is one separate package p3. So inside my package I am having one class, public class d. So if you do not write anything before the class, then it is called a default class. Okay, and if you do not write anything before your variable, then it is a default variable, instance variable, or you can say class variable, right? If you do not write anything, then by default it will be a default one. Okay, so and if you do not write anything before the method, then so void is nothing but we are not returning anything. So this is the reason I'm saying void means I'm not returning anything from my method. So this is the reason I'm saying void. So anyways, if you do not write anything before this, again it is a default method. So let me write it, default method. Okay, so what is the error? Okay, so this is my class, default class. So you can see I am having one more class, test class, but that test class is inside the same package p1. So if I want to call this method, I have to create the object of this class inside this class, right? Then only I can call the method. So okay, I have already created. So I have created the object of this class. Then with the help of object, I am calling the method of this class, m1 method, right? And this is what I am doing. I am with the help of object as well, I am accessing this d1. So you will see it will run fine, no issue. If I run this, you can say for and the class d. So where it is coming from here, as it is a default, we can use inside other class. But the rule here is that if you are creating default class and the variable and the method, you will be able to use that class, that d class methods in the same package, right? So here even I am creating the object here, but that test class is inside my same package. But if I want to call this d object like this in other class, Suppose this is my package p3, right? That is a different package. And if I want to create the object like this, you can say it is not providing any information, right? So if you create the class as default, then outside of this p1 package, in other package, you will not be able to access those class methods and the variable, right? So you can say if you are not creating the object, even it is not throwing the error here, but here you can see that you are not able to create the object of this class, it is throwing error. So this is the reason, if you want that anyone outside the package cannot use your class, then you can create that class as default. So that default is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if I write it as public, so public is the, you can say, if I write public means you can use it anywhere. If I write this as public, so if I write this public, you can see I think I can create the object. You can say error gone. But here again, you can say if I remove these two lines, as I have declared my class as public, you are able to create the object of the class. But again, you are not able to access this one. It is saying that it is not visible to me, right? So it is saying that if you want to see the visibility, you can declare d1 as public. And here, what is the error? It is saying the method m1 from the type d is not visible. So if you change my visibility, or you can say access modifier to public, then I will be visible. So let me do the same. So here I will say it as public. So now I can use this. So in the other class I can definitely use, but outside of the package I can also use. So public. Now if I see error gone, you can see now you can simply run this all the methods and you can also get the variables. It is going to give the same output, right? So this is nothing but public. So you can use anywhere inside other package, and here you can definitely use it. You can say here as well you are able to use. But with the default, you will be able to use only inside the same package in the other class, but outside the package you will not be able to use, right? So that, okay, so this default and public is clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so two more remaining, which is protected. Okay, so make sure, okay, here you cannot write protected, neither private. So if I try to write, you can see it will throw error, illegal modifier for the class D, right? So only public, abstract and final are permitted. So what is this? That abstract and final we will see later. What I mean to say, you cannot write, you can only have public, and if you do not write anything, it is default. But you cannot have protected as well here, right? You can say again it is throwing error, right? So suppose if my class is public, okay, and if I say protected, and here as well if I say protected, right? So now these two variables are, this variable is protected and this variable method is also protected. So if I try to, that is fine. If I can, if I run this, okay, if I declare my variables as protected, so here you can see one variable is protected and method is also protected. And if I want to access the method in other class, but make sure that class is inside the same package in which the our class D is present. So if I right click and run as Java application, it will work fine, no issue. But if I talk about other package like this package, so if I create the object of class D, as our class D is public, I will be able to create the object. But if I try to call it here, you will see it will throw the error, because this time as you are creating, sorry, as you are declaring the variable and the method is protected, so protected keyword says that if you want to use the method and the variables of the class in other class outside the package, then you have to use extends keyword, which means inheritance concept you have to say. And then once you will inherit this class, once you will inherit this class, so why it is throwing error? Okay, so once, what I mean to say, once you will extend this class D, so that D class is coming from this package P1. If you do like that, and if you create the object of child class, so here that check class is extending this D class, so that check class is our child class, and if you create the object of child class check here, then you are able to access all the methods and the variable which are declared as public. So m1, right, and like this ch dot d1, but like this you cannot access, right? So this is what protected keyword will say, and it is throwing error because it will return me one value. So let me catch that value in one variable, and after that I will, you can see. Okay, so if I run this again, I'm saying if you are declaring your variable and the method as protected, right? So this cannot be protected, I've already told you. So if it is protected, then inside the same class in the same package you can easily access like this, right? If I create one class in the other package, and if I try to access it in this way, then it is not applicable with the protected. You can use that class method and variable with the help of inheritance, right? So that this is our child class and this is our parent class, as this class is extending this. So all the methods and the variable that are present in our D class will come to this, and we can use those with the help of our child class object. So this is our child class object I have created, and with the help of this I can simply call this m1 method, which is protected, and which is also, this variable is also protected. Like, so if I run this, it will give me the same output. Okay, so this is the difference it will create. So this protected keyword is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so one more is there, which is private. Okay, so let us see that. uh, where it is, yeah, D class, right? So again, if I write this as private, so it will put the restriction, right? What restriction it will put? If you create private and variable like this, as what will happen in the other class? So let me first, what will happen, you will not be able to use these two variable, sorry, this variable and the method you can use within this class only. This is what private will say. You will not be able to use the private variable and the method, you can say it is not visible, and the method, even if you, even if you are creating one class inside the same package, but if you are declaring your variable and the method is private, then you will not be able to access those as well, right? So this is the tightest, you can say tightest access modifier, right? So forget about this class outside the package. Here you will not be also able to use, but inside the package within the same different class you will also not be able to access. So this is our private modifier, and when you will discuss the concept of encapsulation, right? If we will see that in other class, encapsulation. So what we will do in the encapsulation as well, we will create all the variables as private, right? And we will provide some methods so that anyone can use those variables, right? So you will see that private modifier in the encapsulation concept. Okay, so this is the, we will discuss that in some other lecture. So are you able to get the difference between all the four: private, public, protected, and default? So I think I am having one, if I show you. So I have one diagram to show that. Okay, so I'm not finding it here. Anyways, I will provide in the class. Okay, so here it is. Access specifier, right? So this is the one I got from internet. So here it will say. So it is taking some time to load. Okay. So default. So it is so these are nothing but, you can say, private, default. So they are listed in this manner. So it is saying more restrictive. So you can say private is most restrictive access specifier, right? After that default, and after that protected, and you can say public is less restrictive access modifier, because public will allow you to use anywhere, right? But so this is the, you can say, hierarchy they have provided, that first private is the most restrictive, after that default, after that protected, and least is public, right? So this is the, you can say, access specifier for access specifier in Java. So is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's all for today in this class. Thank you everyone for attending this session. We'll
Yeah,
share the
thank you,
recording
sir.
after this.